Our Saturday concert begins with a beautiful piece for oboe and continuo by Giovanni Platti. He was an Italian composer and strangely spent almost his entire life in Germany. He ended up at a very young age going to the court in Germany and stayed forever. A great oboe virtuoso, and he wrote this stunningly beautiful piece which begins our program today. The next piece on the program is a trio sonata for flute, violin, and continuo by Bach. And this came about in a very strange circumstance. It's part of a set of pieces which is called a musical offering. But whence came this offering? Bach had been visiting his son, who was in the court of Frederick the Great. And Frederick the Great happened to be a musician who played the flute. And on hearing that Father Bach was coming to visit, Frederick presented him with a theme and asked him to improvise a 6-part fugue on this theme. Bach was a little bit daunted by that, but he did improvise a 3-part fugue on that theme and was very taken with the particular theme that Friedrich der Grosse gave to him. And upon returning home and having enjoyed this visit and the meeting the king, he set out to write a whole set of pieces, I think 13 pieces in all, and had them all bound in leather and sent to Friedrich, the King of Prussia, as a gift, an offering. And this trio sonata that we're going to hear was part of that gift. This is a magnificent piece exploiting all of Bach's powers in counterpoint, harmony, melody, and just a joy to hear. The next piece on our program is by Telemann, and it's called Tafelmusik. Tafelmusik, a good translation would be table, Tafel music, table music. And in fact, it was quite normal in the Baroque time for composers to be engaged in writing music for meals, background music for meals. I would guess that they probably didn't really take into account the part about people eating and were really just writing their music for whatever occasion they could write it. And in this case, if it was going to be for the background of a meal, so be it. This is one of the most beautiful pieces imaginable. We have flute, oboe, and violin with the continuo, and magnificent example of Telemann at his best. To conclude, we have a very strange and magnificent violin sonata by Biber. He was a precursor to Bach. He was a virtuoso violinist and wrote many sonatas to show off his own virtuosity, but happened to have incredible imagination. So this sonata is unlike anything that you would hear from that time, particularly in the sense that every 30 or 40 seconds or minute, he completely changes direction and goes off in a different place. So you have really a kind of episodic, fantastic varietal of textures and moods and virtuosity, almost like a kaleidoscope. This needs, obviously, a fantastic violinist to perform it. And our Danny Phillips has been playing Biber sonatas for decades and really is quite the expert at this particular kind of music.